Hello, friends. I'm Kelly Jarvis, and you may know me as one of the two owners of Fit to Shine Studio. But you may not know that I just recently also completed our 200-hour yoga teacher training here at the studio. At the end of the training, we were asked to tell our yoga story, and this turned out to be incredibly hard for me. It turns out that the story had truly not been entirely written yet, and I really just couldn't find words, which is actually kind of weird for me because I'm someone who writes for a living. It turns out that it was just the beginning. We recently shared what I submitted on Facebook, and I wanted to read it to you and then expand a little more so that you can understand where I'm coming from and encouraging you to consider taking yoga training with us this fall. So Kelly's yoga story. Not very many words on here, right? It says 20 years from 2001 to 2021. Yoga as a fad, yoga as recovery, yoga as a business, yoga as a feel-good, yoga for kids, yoga as a requirement, yoga as a solution, yoga as peace, yoga as a craving, yoga as life. The last 20 years is the first chapter of my yoga story. And so you see, when we first started Fit to Shine Studio, I had a lot of experience in fitness. I had been a fitness instructor teaching spinning and other strength training classes as a part-time passion for a little over 16 years. I absolutely loved spinning. And I would also often use the bike as not just exercise, but as my mental release, as my own therapy, as I was leading other people. And I had taken yoga and I appreciated it, but it never really meant a lot to me personally. I kind of saw it as like a way to unwind and a way to recover so that I could be better for the other stuff I wanted to do. And when I met my partner, Chrissy, through her husband that I had gone to high school with, she had discovered yoga a few years earlier through her own challenges with sports injuries and had fallen in love. And so she was on her own journey. And when we met, we did not know each other before that, but we found that we both had a love and a passion for fitness and for our vision was to help people find energy, strength, and peace through fitness. And we just felt that a place that offered both cycling and yoga could be pretty awesome. Well, it turns out that we were right. We started out with only yoga, and even then I still saw yoga as my recovery for the high intensity fitness I was doing, whether it was my riding outside, doing spinning, running, HIIT, boot camp. I still only really saw and felt the physical of yoga. But slowly I started to watch as our community started to change and evolve and become something really beautiful. And then I began to fall in love with the yoga portion of what we were offering. So when we decided to offer a yoga training program, I was all in. There was no question I was going to take it. And I was super excited to learn from Chrissy and from Christine. And so I was working full time, running the studio alongside Chrissy, teaching here as well, raising my 3 kids, volunteering, and all the things. But I knew I had to make it work. And I'm so glad that I did. It was a lot of commitment. It was a lot of weekends away from my family, but those weekends often felt like a vacation. They felt like I was finally giving myself the me time that I always needed and that I deserved, and that I would never have given myself before. It made me realize that the mental therapy I was doing of rocking out on the bike was real and necessary. And don't get me wrong, I still love it. If you've taken any of my cycle classes, you know that we can still work hard and I will still bust my butt on that bike. But I realized that that intensity was often me running away from my challenges as a way to get through them. And so I didn't truly find and see myself, until I started looking inward during the practice of yoga. And I've always been pretty in touch with my body and my cycles and my moods. But generally, I was always moving too fast to actually stop and listen to them and make any changes based on what my body was telling me, which can end in not good things. And so I think the combination of the COVID shutdown and this yoga training, the 9 months, forced me to really look hard at what was important to me. So after our yoga training, I ended up going through something that made me realize that I was basically like a hamster on that wheel, running and running and running without making any real progress. So the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that was me for years through my career, trying different things, trying to find the right thing that was the balance of my evolving and successful career and my family. And so at 41, I had had all the successful corporate career experiences I could ever dream of or needed. And this training made me really take a step back and go inward and realize what really mattered to me. And so soon after we finished training, I ended up taking a step back from that career to focus on my home family and this studio family. And I have not looked back once with regret. Now, I'm not implying that yoga training will make you come in and do big sweeping changes to your life, so don't be fearful. But I guarantee that you won't leave this training unchanged. You will find something new there in the physical asanas, the physical part of yoga where you're actually learning the different postures. Even if you're a veteran yogi, if you have not explored a training where you get to break down the anatomy of the posture, you will be fascinated. You will find a new joy and energy in learning about the beautiful gift of breathing, about the human body and how fascinating and amazing it is. And then you'll learn something or many things about yourself in the process. You may even have to face some really hard truths. You may find them and have to face them head on that you've been trying to avoid maybe for years. And some of it may suck, I'm not gonna lie. But I recommend all of it, all of it. Come in, do the work with you, with the yoga, make it a part of your life, grow and learn, and you will be glad you did. You will be forever changed because of it. And so our next teacher training has just recently been pushed back to start on November 3rd. We're giving another month for people to sign up. And that's why I wanted to do this video, because you now have an opportunity to dive into this journey yourself. So I would encourage you, do it for you. Do it for the people you love. The world needs what you have to give. And whether you ever choose to teach an actual yoga class and give in that manner, or you only do it to enhance your own personal practice, it will be worth it. It is guaranteed to change your life in some way. And Chrissy and Christine are a great team. They bring a vast knowledge of all of the different aspects of yoga. And this studio is amazing. The people that come into this space make it what it is. Chrissy and I may have opened the doors in January of 2019, but the people that walk in here every day are what makes it so amazing. It is going to be a very intimate environment, very small training. Most of these trainings are 20 plus students. We're going to be capping at 10. So this is a great opportunity to make new friends, to develop a tribe, and really when it comes to training, get much more individual attention and more experience, finding your voice and teaching in front of an audience that you wouldn't have otherwise, which will make your experience just that much better. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us as a studio at info@fittoshinestudio.com. If you have specific curriculum questions, Chrissy and Christine would be happy to answer those for you. Or if you want to reach out to me directly as a recent student of our training, please feel free to reach out, ask any questions about time, and talk about any of your hesitations, your fears, your worries. I would love to have the opportunity to talk through those with you. And my email is Kelly with a Y, Kelly @fittoshinestudio.com. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. As you heard earlier, this is only the first chapter of my story. I hope it will be the first chapter of yours as well. And as we say in yoga, the divine light in me sees, honors, respects, and loves the divine light in you. Thank you so much for listening. Namaste.